Hello, everyone. Welcome to Coach's Corner. We have a tradition here. Where is it? Welcome. You're live. Oh, wow. Always a pleasure presenting this beautiful material with my amazing colleagues. We have four people strong here today, and we're going to share something very special for everyone. So, before we get into it, always feel free to engage, drop some comments, you know, reach out to us because this knowledge is extremely powerful. And we're tapping into, you know what, after rereading this chapter, anyway, we'll get into it. Without further ado, my name is Jamel Matias. I'm a certified mindset success coach slash business consultant. And I'm actually traveling right now, if you notice, different background, but my purpose is to reveal the hidden potential that's already within you and guide you to your truest desires. I work with individuals, businesses, and business owners, and also mentored by the late great legend Bob Proctor. So I'm gonna pass it on to my amazing colleague who is back. At least.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, my name is Alicia Espinosa. I am based in Sweden and I help people to create a life that feels good on the inside, not just looks good from the outside. And I am a certified mindset and values coach and working a lot with values so that when you create a life that is aligned with your values. Thank you. Lou.
Well, thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Jamel. Hello, Paul. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for catching us live or catching the replay. Very grateful to be here today. So my name is Lou Perica, and I am a success mindset mentor. And what I do is I guide women back to their magnificence of who they are. They're powerful, they are capable, and designed for more. And I help them untie the mindset knots that keep them playing small so they can live, they can lead, and create from their highest identity. And I'm very excited about today's chapter because so many people are working really hard in something that doesn't fit them anymore. So I'm looking forward to diving into this chapter with my colleagues. And I will pass it over to my amazing colleague, Paul.
Thank you, Lou, Alicia, and Jamel. And my name is Paul Wooters. I'm in Burlington, Ontario, Canada. I'm also a success mindset coach, mentor, Proctor Gallagher consultant, and I'm director of the Leadership and Development Department at the World Life Education Center. And what I do is I help people live from the inside out rather than from the outside in, which a lot of people do, reacting to everything they see and hear and their experience and allowing that to dictate how they think and how they feel or what they think, but instead living from the inside out. So living your life by design and with intention, because transformation doesn't happen by accident, right? It happens with intention and by design. So I help people unlock their inner potential, and I help people design the life that they really want to live and become the person they want to be and do the things they want to do and have the things they want to have. Jamel.
Yeah, this chapter is so good. They kind of every chapter is connected. This is awesome. I love sharing this because I tell you right at the beginning, it's very interesting how he just brings you into each chapter. It says here, success in any particular business depends for one thing upon your possessing in a well-developed state the faculties required in that business. Wow. This is going to be good. This is good. Lou, you know what? Intuition is telling me, Lou, what do you get from this chapter so far? I'll let you kick it off.
It's so funny because sometimes when I look at a chapter, I go, it just doesn't speak to me, right? And I was just going by the title, I will tell you. But as I read it, and again, it's a very short title, but it reminded me so much how many of us, and I would probably say a great majority of us, perhaps get into a business or career or job that we may think in our earlier life was the thing to do. And as we go through it, we're realizing perhaps more and more, maybe this isn't quite the right fit. And this is why we see many times people shifting from different careers. I know I did it in my earlier life. I know I did it. And then I got into real estate, which I loved. So that made, when, there's a difference between working really hard and feeling exhausted. When you're doing a job or have a career or have a business that you're not aligned with, you're not emotionally and mentally and spiritually connected with, so it feels depleting. And when you do find something that lights you up, even though you can be exhausted at the end of the day or tired, it's a different kind of feeling, because it's a feeling that you've accomplished something, because you're doing something that you want to do, not that you have to do. And when I speak with some people, when I ask them how things are going or how's their business going, how's their, oh, ugh. And I can feel the hustle and grind behind that. And I can feel the exhaustion from trying to do something that doesn't really fit with you. So that's why when I started to reread this chapter, it reminded me how important it is to not only, you can develop skills, you can develop, talent, but to be emotionally, mentally, and spiritually connected to what it is that you really want to do. It's a completely different vibration, more so than just getting a paycheck. So that's what my takeaway in the beginning was when I
I
started
love it.
this.
I love it. That reminds me when Sandy said, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, do yourself a favor and walk away. Right. And I know a lot of people are like, what? I can't walk away. This is my job. This is my income. Right. And that's where the fear comes in, because it's something very foreign. It's interesting. You're out of harmony, right? You're just going through the motion in this direction based on what, the outside world kind of gives you at the time. Right. It's very, very interesting when you say that. So thanks, Lou. That was lovely.
Oh, Paul, you're muted.
Yeah, I think you're muted there, Paul.
I am muted.
There you go.
All right, I'm rambling on.
Oh,
What was I saying? Okay, so yeah, for my little synopsis is that to build on what Lou is saying, but that the author is saying here that success isn't about finding the perfect business, and it's about bringing the successful way of thinking and acting. And previous chapters we talked about thinking in a certain way and acting in a certain way. So to bring that successful way of thinking and acting into whatever business that you're currently in. And I think he's, there's a bit of a misunderstanding in personal development, is that you don't need a different business. You need a different mindset about your business. And so he's emphasizing that you can become rich in any legitimate business, because it's not the business itself that makes you rich. It's how you think. It's the mindset that you bring, because you can look at any business. There's people that are very successful and there's people that are not very successful, and they can be in the same market. It's not about being in a different marketplace or anything like that. It's really about the mindset that you bring to your business. And if you know, reflecting back on the previous chapters that we discussed, thinking in a certain way and acting in a certain way, and efficient action. So as Jamel said, all the chapters build on each other. So that's basically the synopsis that I gathered from this chapter. Alicia.
Yeah, no, I was also the same as you say, and it's, I think we talked about many times ago about this, the mountain that you are climbing, you know, if it's not aligned with what you value, what is important to you, you might climb the wrong mountain. That when you arrived to the top, then you feel like, but wait a minute, this is not what I wanted. And that was the case for me, because I was, chasing what I thought it was success. That I was like, oh, but people say like this is the success. It came from my father, from my family, oh, you should be an engineer or a doctor. When I became an engineer, and traveling that, climbing that mountain, and then when I came to the top, it was like, okay, is that what life has to offer? And then I discovered that I was climbing the wrong path, So it's why to work with yourself, with the mindset, as you say, Paul, because when we work with the mindset, then you can feel like if you're doing something that is aligned with your values and your mindset, then it will be more joy. So you will enjoy more that travel, because it's not like, everything is smooth, everything will be easy. No, everything that is worth the living, it comes with a cost. And it's better when you have that aligned with your values, because you still, as Lou, you said before, it's not like, you don't need to work. Like you work, but it's another satisfaction. And for me, for example, when I became a consultant and coach, I was like, I wanted to work with organizations to downsize, to earn money. And then I did some jobs, and then they say, oh yeah, this is very good, because then we need to cut the cost, and we need to say bye to some employees, to kick some employees. And then I was like, oh my gosh, my work, what I am doing is like not aligned with what I wanted. So it's why now I'm working with, for example, coaching leaders to create a safe workplace that people can go home, and then they are not in incidents or accidents at the workplace. And that is more fulfilling for me, because I am saving lives, and I am working with quality of life. Because if you get hurt at the job, if you are in an accident, maybe your quality of life will not be so good. So it's why I like, yeah, this is aligned with what I want. So when we align what we want, it's like, it's so fulfilling to find that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Where is it? Yeah. I was so entranced in what you're saying, with alignment, right? That is so key. And you know what? I always like to see, well, think of it as not the wrong mountain that we climb, but just the mountain that we're climbing at that time. Because sometimes you might need that other mountain to realize, hey, I want to go that way.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's working for us rather than to us. But yeah, that was so beautiful. So this was a funny part here, but it really ties in what we're sharing here. He says there are musicians who have remarkable talent and who yet remain poor. There are blacksmiths, carpenters, and so on who have excellent mechanical ability, but who do not get rich. And there are merchants with good faculties for dealing with men who nevertheless fail. The different faculties or tools. It is essential to have good tools, but it is also essential that the tool should be used in the right way. Puts that in there. And, if you missed it, go back to, our previous sessions of thinking in the right way and acting in a certain way, because that is key. It doesn't matter what tools you have. And I like how he worded that there. And then he says, one man can take a sharp saw, a square, a good plane, and so on, and build a handsome article of furniture. Another man can take the same tools and set to work to duplicate the article. But his production will be a botch, meaning it's one man they have the same tools and one cannot create what the other did. He does not know how to use good tools in a successful way. The various faculties of your mind are the tools with which you must do the work, which is to make you rich. It will be easier for you to succeed if you get into a business for which you are well equipped with mental tools. So I could read the whole book, but it is he goes on to say, working in a business where you're fulfilled, it's easier, and if you have the natural tools for it. So, and he said, generally speaking, you will do best in that business which will use your strongest faculties, the one for which you're naturally best fitted. So, and lastly, but there are limitations to this statement. No man should regard his vocation as being irrevocably fixed by the tendencies by which. So you can get rich in any business right there. That's what I was looking for. You can get rich in any business. All right. Sorry to read a whole book for everybody here, but we recommend you read it. Right. And it's not just reading it, it's applying it. Right. So in any business, but he says you will get rich most easily in point of effort if you do that for which you are best fitted, but you will get rich most satisfactorily if you do that which you want to do. And this is what we're talking about. Basically, finding the path or the occupation that you want to do. And, skills and talents, you can develop skill. Talents are kind of like a natural thing. And we all have, talents and skills here, but doing what you want, that's the primary thing, right? And doing that in the right way, not just, I wouldn't say the wrong way, but it's the way that, doesn't work for you. It's working against you when you do things in the opposite way of in a certain way. So does that make sense? I hope it makes sense.
I wanted to talk about, because even myself, I find I am always tweaking, doing a little recalibrating, because I love what I do. I love it. Just because you love something, how are you doing it? So sometimes getting even more clearer on who you're speaking to. Who is your audience? How, we're all consultants here, coaches, mentors, but we all have different styles. We all speak to perhaps a different market. And getting really clear on how you want to show up, who do you want to lead or mentor, getting really clear, what is the message? So all of these things, if you are in a business, sometimes it may be the right business for you. And learning your own style of how to do that business is very important. I have an example. So again, I fall back on real estate. And many times I've heard, and probably myself when I was in real estate, I didn't want to think of it as sales. I didn't want to think that I was a salesperson. And I hear that a lot, even if it's not real estate, even within our own business. We hear people go, well, I'm not salesy. I don't like sales. And this is what Paul was saying about shifting the mindset. So let's use that realtor for an example. She didn't get into real estate because of sales. She got into it because she loves guiding families through these important decisions in their life. So once she reframes that, and she now sees herself as a guide, helping families maneuver the process, she now can start marketing herself and her business and get clearer on her message. So sometimes you may be in the right business or career job, but it's shifting how you perceive it, how you see yourself, and how you're showing up. I was just going to say something else. I forgot something. But anyways, falling back on what Jamel says about the desire, it's very important to have the desire also to do what it is, because desire is like adding gasoline. Oh, I know what it was. Jamel mentioned earlier about, you may be doing a job that's not really what you want to be doing, but you have this fear of stepping away from it. And most people are not in that position where they can step away from it. So it's not always just fear, but they have a family, or whatever it is, they have bills, they have mortgages, et cetera, et cetera. And again, I've dealt with people who are in a similar situation. But if you shift away, I remember there was a gentleman that came to our house. He was doing some sort of work on the house, but he really wanted to have a business like that. He just had a passion for that. But he has to do this particular job, whatever it was, because he's got a family. But if you can shift the way you look at your current job as not as a weight that's dragging you down and pulling you down from living your dream, but to say, you know what? I do want to start my own food truck business, but I need to set aside some money. I still need to support my family, keep a roof over our head, put food on the plate. Maybe I can put 10% away each paycheck to start building my business so I can get to a point where I am able to step away, or maybe I have to do both for a certain amount of time. But now you're looking at your current job as not just, but a means to building your dream that you truly do want. So now you're looking at it as income to start living the life that you want, or starting the business that you want. But it's just that tweak mindset. And I also had a realtor once tell me she was so sick and tired of every year creating a new goal, and it was always financial, transactional. And it meant nothing to her anymore because every year it was the same thing. And I said, well, find something that you're passionate about. Let's say, for an example, because I know many realtors will do this, whether it's a homeless shelter or animal shelter, and they donate a certain amount of their commission towards that shelter. Now it gives that career, that job was maybe losing a lot of its lust and, I love this, love it. But now you're giving it more meaning, because if you're doing the same thing year after year, it can get tiresome. But if you now start doing it with someone else in mind, someone else can benefit from what you're passionate about, then you breathe new life into your business and your career.
Yes. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lou.
Yeah, that was great, Lou. There's so much there, and I just wanted to backtrack a little bit to what Jamel was saying. You know, you're best suited in a business that reflects your natural talents and abilities. But as you also said, but you can also develop other talents and abilities when you are pursuing something that you really want to do. Because when you really find something that you really want to do, you're more likely to pour yourself into it, give all of yourself, and approach that thing with the right mindset that we're talking about when it's something that you truly, truly want. Lou made a great point there, because I was talking to someone. I was at a social event last night, and someone was saying, you know, she's in a job, doesn't really love it, but she has to because she's taking care of her mother who lives in her house now, and she can't leave because she has to think of her mother. But if I was suggesting something similar to what Lou was saying, you can hang on to that current position, but start training yourself for this other position or this other job that you want to pursue. And so you have tools, you have physical tools, like a carpenter has physical tools, but Jamel was also talking about, the mental tools, the mental faculties that we all have. And those are the tools that you need to develop. And everyone, you can develop any one of them. We all have them: imagination, perception, will, reasoning, intuition. We all have those, but you can develop those. You can develop them more. You can develop them to create a better self and a better awareness and a better mindset about your job. And there's something that Bob Proctor, our mentor, said, and he said, you're not meant to stay where you are, but you're meant to start where you are. So you start where you are with whatever tools you have, and then you start to move forward. But you can move to whatever thing that you really truly desire. And that's what we're here to help you with. We're here to help you, pursue those dreams, pursue like your innermost desires. What is it that you really, really want? Uncover what you really want. And then what tools, what natural gifts do you have, and how can you develop them to achieve what you really want to do? So it's not, you don't need to jump industries. You don't need to find the opportunity, or you don't need to find a new job to start succeeding, and you don't need the perfect setup. It's because the power for you to create wealth is inside you. It's not in the external conditions. So it's your mindset and your method, right? We talked about in the previous chapters, doing it in a certain way, thinking in a certain way. So as you develop those faculties, you will bring more of yourself to that job, and you will outgrow your position. You'll get bigger than your place, right? We talked about in the last chapter, I think, as you become bigger for your place, and then you will find you'll find the results that you want, and then you can move. Then new paths will open for you. New doors will open for you. So don't force negates, but grow where you are and become bigger internally, and you will master the place that you occupy.
Yeah, very good.
We can do applause every time.
I was thinking was what Lou said, when there are people that they don't like their job.
Mm-hmm.
And this way, I was talking to a group last week, and we were talking just about that. When you don't like your job and you go to the job because you need the money, and I called me myself like a gratitude activist, so being grateful for everything, because the day before you got that job, you were like, oh, I want to have a job. And then you went to the interview. You have there are many people applying for the same job, and then suddenly they call you and you were so nervous, and they say you get the job, and then you were so happy that day. And what happened with us people, with the human beings, is that we go to this so-called hedonic adaptation. We adapt us to what is the new, and then we forget how it was before. Before you got that, yes, you get the job, and then you know adapt yourself to the new one, and then you start to be unsatisfied about the thing. And when somebody come to me and say, oh, but I am so tired for my job, and I want to create something new or go for another a career, or start a business. And I say, well, start being grateful for what you have, because what you have now give you food on the table. They give you shelter, give you clothes, everything. And then when you are so grateful for that, then you will get more energy to create something. But if you are all the time so frustrating about your job that you have now, you will not get any energy or inspiration to create something new. So it's why I say, be so grateful for what you have and create something from that, not from frustration, but from gratitude. And we are in the Thanksgiving weeks in USA, so it's good to think about that. Being grateful. I am a believer of the gratitude, and to be grateful for where you are just now, even if it's not good. It will become something good from that. And what I do is that, when I want to start and setting my goals for the next year, I don't say, oh, what I'm going to this money, or I ask myself, what do I want to experience next year? When is the 31st of December? What I'm going to celebrate, what have I experienced, how have I developed myself, and how I want to create values for other people, to provide value. And from there, I pick up something. This is the things that I want in experience, develop, and provide values. And then I ask myself, who do I need to become in order to get this thing? And then I work on that. Who do I need to become? So that is the thing that I create. So if you have a job that you don't like, start being grateful, and then ask yourself, what do I want to create? What do I want to experience? How do I want to develop? And what I want to provide values? And then ask yourself, who do I need to become in order to create this?
Wow. I told you something special is happening here in Coach's Corner. So beautifully shared. It's interesting how we all have experiences in life and how we interpret this material. And we definitely, want to help you with this, because it's interesting when you go through life and not have this material and apply it every day. I was thinking back, I'm so glad you mentioned gratitude, Alicia, because there's a lot of people out there doing things they don't want to do and living lives they don't want to live. I was one of them. You know, I was working in places that I wasn't fulfilled. And I'm right now thinking about where I'm sitting in this very moment, talking about life, universal laws, talking about how we can change our entire inner dialogue, right? Our self-image, how we use gratitude intelligently, and how we can create whatever we want. I'm in a really nice, I wish I could show y'all, but it's just beautiful. You know, outside, there's like this huge farm out there, you know. So anyway, this is my work. We get to do this. We get to help people with this knowledge. And I used to work in this tight cubicle. It had dust falling off the ceiling. You know, it was horrible. And I was that person saying, I'm not fulfilled here. This, you know, but I wasn't looking at it negatively. I did it sometimes. I was like, I got to get out of here. But that's when I used gratitude and I shifted everything. And I also asked Spirit for guidance. That was huge because I was like, where do I go from here? And of course, sometimes when you're just getting money, even if it's something you don't want to do, you're not in alignment with your spirit. If you're not feeling good, that is conscious awareness of the vibrational state that you're in. So when you feel bad going to that place every day, trust me, I did it too long, to be honest. And, you know, that was my limiting self because I didn't like change. I got used to just receiving a paycheck. But it's scary. It was scary for me, you know, to, you know, go into business, you know, entrepreneurship and do what I do now, but I'll do it again. And when I asked for Spirit for guidance, I received it tenfold. And for those that are in a tough place, listen to that desire. You know, Neville Goddard, he calls desire the language of God or the language of spirit. And what that is, that's the essence of infinite intelligence wanting you to become something more than what you are. And when you do that, you impact people, more people in a higher way. You're impacting more people. You're actually becoming what you're meant to become. That's what desire really is. And speaking of desire, here's the segue. He says, doing what you want to do is life. Doing what you want to do is life. And there is no real satisfaction in living if we are compelled to be forever doing something which we do not like to do and can never do what we want to do. And it is certain that you can do what you want to do. The desire to do it is proof that you have within you the power which can do it. So if you have a desire for anything, that is proof for you to become. You wouldn't even have the desire if it wasn't meant for you, right? The desire is designed for you to grow spiritually. So really think about that. And he says desire is a manifestation of power. Wow. The desire to play music is the power which can play music, seeking expression and development. The desire for to invent mechanical devices is the mechanical talent seeking expression and development. So why do you think you watch Coach's Corner? You're seeking development. You're seeking that desire. It just doesn't happen. And everything happens by law. Everything. You attracted us, you know, you attracted this message, this chapter at this moment in your life. Why? It's because you have a desire. So where there is no power, either developed or underdeveloped, to do a thing, there is never any desire to do that thing. And where there's strong desire to do a thing, it is certain proof that the power to do it is strong and only requires to be developed and applied in the right way. Oh, wow. This is so good. So don't shy away from desire, no matter where you are. Like Paul said, you know, he said, start where you are with what you got. And Bob always said it, with what you got. I know it's grammatically, with what you have, right? So it's where you are and where you want to go. And where you want to go is your desire. And that's the spirit seeking growth from within.
Yeah. Yeah, and just to just go a little bit more in depth about desire, allow it. Allow it. Many people are so caught up in the doing that they just put their desire on the back burner. For later, as we say. And that desire is like a spiritual assignment. I'll often say, I never had the desire to be an engineer. I never had the desire to be, a nurse. I never had the desire to do this, that. It just didn't speak to me. So because this all comes back to the very first call that we ever did on Coach's Corner. What do you want? It is so, and that is the question that woke me up, and I've shared it many times. When Bob asked me, I was 57 years old, what do you want? And I said, what? So that is the question. There's the two questions, what do you want? And the other one is, who am I? The two biggest questions. So until you get clear on what you want, and I know I speak to some women that I want so many things. I want to do this and I want to do that, and they have skills and talents in many, many fields. And sometimes I would feel like, wow, I wish I had that. But then I realized, no, that's not for you, Lou. It's not for you. But the other thing is, too, is I see how that can lead to confusion. So I have a friend who has many, many pans in the fire, whatever the expression is. And I says, just get that, as Bob would say, get the one plates up and spinning first. Get that going. Then you bring on something else. But what I see happening is people are splitting their energy all over the place, and they end up exhausted, depleted. They're not moving forward. Focus on the one thing first. And make sure that one thing, when we say, what is the right business? The right business grows you. It allows you to create, and it allows you to serve at your highest level. You don't need a field just because it seems glamorous. You need a field that you can increase your value and your impact. These are all important things to think about, especially for young people that are coming out of school or going into higher education. This is really important. Are you doing things because you feel that it's, someone said it's the right thing to do? You're following a career because, oh, I heard that they earn a lot of money, et cetera, et cetera. Ask these questions. Where can I serve at my highest level, the highest version of me, and make the greatest impact? This is when you love. We've all heard the saying, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Mm-hmm. And when you can find that thing, again, there's so many different variations to that one thing. Again, I'm still learning. I'm still getting clearer on how I want to show up. maybe I don't want to show up because I kept hearing this is how you show up. Well, maybe that's good for them, but not necessarily for me. Maybe the way I speak is very different from some of the other coaches. The audience that I speak to is different from Alicia's or from Paul's or from Jamel. So getting this, but this is always part of building skills. But I know I'm in a field that I'm passionate about. I know I'm in a field where I have been showing up as a higher version than I have in my past careers or jobs or whatnot. So this is a field that just makes my soul and my heart sing. And I just want to get better and better at it. This is why I truly believe I'm in the right place.
Mhm.
So these are some of the things to consider when you are starting out in life, or you do want to leave your current job or career. But even within, like, a lot of times professionals, very successful professionals, they burn out. They burn out from doing the same thing over and over, but they start to become mentors or consultants. So they start off as one job or one career, but that job or career is just a channel, can be just a channel for your next adventure. So even if you're in a job or a career that you do not like right now, know, first of all, it's bringing you clarity, because you know you don't want to do that anymore. Bless it and say, thank you. This has brought me clarity. And you will gain skills and knowledge from that particular job or career into your next move.
Mhm.
So you're always gathering more knowledge and more skills and more abilities. So each job is like, it's like a channel. Doesn't mean you're stuck to it, but like Alicia said, be grateful. As Paul was mentioning, the woman that she hates her job, but she has to take care of her mother. Isn't it wonderful that she has a job, that she is able to take care of her mother for now? And when you go into work, instead of, ugh, it's, I'm so grateful, because so many people right now are out of work.
Yeah.
So a shift in the mindset, a shift in attitude, and truly being grateful for everything that we have, even if we're not so crazy about it right now.
Excellent points, Lou. Excellent points. And I I love what Jamel brought up. And then I'll get back to what Lou just said. You know, doing what you want to do is life. You know, it's so important, right? There's no real satisfaction in living if we are compelled to do something which we do not like to do. But you're not, as Lou is saying, you're not obliged, and here the author is saying, you're not obliged to do what you do not like to do and should not do it, except as a means to bring you to your desired work. And that's what basically what Lou is saying there. Okay, I have this 9-to-5 obligation, don't really like it, it's not really where I want to be, but thankfully, as Alicia said, I'm grateful that I have this job. It's helping me put bread on the table, it's helping me pay my bills. Now, what can I do? I want to do something else. And desire and want is the only prerequisite in making a decision. So you make a decision, say, hey, I want to be somewhere else. I want to do something else. This is what's calling to me. So, you know, you can use your current situation, your current job, to help you move towards the thing that you really want. Maybe you need more education, maybe you need more training, maybe you need to study something else. So you can do that. I mean, I said to this woman last night, well, the time's going to pass anyway, because some people say, oh, but that course is going to take so long. I have to do that. But that means I have to do this for the next 2 years or something like that. And I said, but so what? the time's going to pass anyway. Why wouldn't you want to work on the thing that's driving you? Why wouldn't you want to work on the thing that's going to help you, that's serving you, the thing that you want to do, rather than just going to this job that you just like, ugh, don't want to be there, don't want to show up. You hate when it's Monday, you rejoice when it's Friday because that week's over. Like, that's not a great way to live, really. I don't think. Like, for myself, I barely know what day it is sometimes. I just know I have certain things planned for each day, but it doesn't really matter if it's Monday morning or if it's Thursday morning. You know, I feel really good. I feel very grateful. I'm very excited about what I'm about to do each day. And so that's, you know, I would encourage you to do the same. Find the thing that, you know, find your why. Find it, what, like Lou was saying, what is it you really want? And why do you want that? Because your why will drive you. Your why is going to get you out of bed in the morning. And that's going to, you know, you should be happy about, you know, doing that thing. So whatever it is you do, you know, try different things. We've been encouraging you to put, you know, more of yourself into the job. You're doing things in a certain way, but whatever it is you're doing, you know, try to, you know, create more value, bring more life, bring more energy, more advancement, more service. Because if your business allows you to add life to other people, then it's aligning with the universe's purpose. And that's why any legitimate business can make you rich. You know, increase is the true currency. Alicia.
Yeah, I was back to what we say about being grateful, even if we don't like the job. And this is so important because if that job give out the opportunity to you know, to fulfill the basic needs that we have as humans. Otherwise, you know, when we start a business or when we have a career, we want to deliver something. We want to deliver a value. But when we don't have the basic needs, you know, in place, then we go from I want to do value, I want to create value, to I am desperate, I need to sell this, I need to do this. And it will be unneeded, and it create frustration and create desperation. So it's why it's so important to be grateful for what we have at the moment. And also, I was thinking about the desire. We listened to the desire Lou talk about. And for me, when I talk with my clients, they say, you listen to your desire, but you don't need to wait until the desire has been manifested to feel happiness inside you, to be grateful, to know, because sometimes people say, yeah, but when I get this, then I will be very happy, or then I will be very grateful. No, you are grateful already, and the desire will manifest someday. You don't know when, because then if you are all the time focusing in the manifestation of the desire, it will create frustration also, and you will not be enjoying the process to create that desire. This is what I wanted to say. And to get to this, the desire is asking yourself, how do you want to use your talents and abilities that life has given to you? That is very important.
Wow. This was such a great session. You know, whenever we have frustration, you're allowing the outside to affect the inside. It's really straightforward. You know, are you being the plaything for outside forces, or are you choosing your thoughts? And this comes with awareness. You know, there's good in everything, and it's what you look for. It really is. And we're all here to help you with this knowledge and share our experiences with it. And I love this part here. Do a day or two spent in contemplating the vision of what you want and in earnest thanksgiving that you are getting it will bring your mind into such close relationship with the Supreme that you will make no mistake when you do act. That is massive. So you have to get clear on your vision. And what is the vision? It's your desire, right? What do you really want, right? That's the starting point. And it'll change every year. You know, we're human, right? One year you may want to travel somewhere. One year you want, you know, different income or a different job, right? And then he says, there is a mind which knows all there is to know. And you can come into close unity with this mind by faith and the purpose to advance in life if you have deep gratitude. So, and mistakes come from acting hastily or from acting in fear or doubt, right? So listen to that. He said faith and fear. We always have a choice on which we get to choose, right? It's either fear or faith. So mistakes come from acting hastily or from acting in fear or doubt or in forgetfulness of the right motive, which is more life to all and less to none. So as you go on in the certain way, opportunities will come to you in increasing number, and you will need to be very steady in your faith and purpose and to keep in close touch with the all mind by reverent gratitude. See, he says gratitude so many times, right? If you just scan the page or just scan what we just said on this session, gratitude. And it's not just the feeling good of it, it's being consciously aware of your thoughts and what are you grateful for, right? You can be in the darkest places, but you can find the good there. And what was it? What book? As a Man Thinketh, I believe, right? Where it was horrific things, but he had a vision and he was grateful. So he was able to shift his vibrational state in one of the worst places ever. So this is so good. And he says, do all that you can do in a perfect manner every day, but do it without haste, worry, or fear. Remember, fear is the opposite of faith. Go as fast as you can, but never hurry. Remember that in the moment you begin to hurry, you cease to be a creator and become a competitive. So that's the competitive and the creative ways of creation. You drop back upon the old plane again. Do you see us rushing to finish Coach's Corner? But we're so conditioned to operate on the competitive plane. This is, you know, we're conditioned since birth, right? Oh, you have a schedule to keep. You got to get to work at this time. And, you know, it actually starts in school, right? You got to finish this test and you got to, you know, study here and do all this. And it's so conditioned into society. It's different, right? So whenever you find yourself hurrying, call a halt. Fix your attention on the mental image of the thing you want and begin to give thanks that you are getting it. See, this is gratitude in advance. Now we're creating, right? So the exercise of gratitude will never fail to strengthen your faith and renew your purpose. we can all go around the corner, the panel here, and say what we're grateful for. I'm grateful for being here and grateful just to remind a lot of viewers that you are the beginning and the end, the Alpha and Omega. You have everything you need right now. And I hope this session gave you that insight and also the reminder of gratitude. So this has been a really good session because what he's sharing is it's interesting. I wanted to kind of skip this chapter, but when I read it again, I'm like, wow, look at
That's what
these gems, right? Right.
And I was like, oh, that is My chapter.
Right, right. So don't let it stop here. You know, reach out to one of us. You know, we sincerely love meeting new people and helping you with this knowledge, because it's not just knowledge. You know, you want to apply it, you want to live it, and then your results start changing. You feel better. You know, of course, money is an effect, right? That happens. You are the cause of everything. My mind is the center of divine operation. It really is, and so is yours. Anybody want to share there? I know I kind of.
No, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. I just have one little question I just wanted to ask. So where in your current work do you feel most like yourself? And where do you feel like you're performing a role that doesn't fit anymore? That's the question I wanted to leave.
That's good.
Wow. Wow. I love it. Yeah. All right, everyone. This has been amazing. Our call links are, you know, on whatever platform you're watching at, or just message us and get this shift going, right? You want to apply this, change your trajectory, get a clear vision. Yes. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.